All right, let's talk about enterprise security in the cloud. It's a huge topic, but it often boils down to one critical and honestly pretty misunderstood service, the AWS Network Firewall. Today, we're going to break it all down: what it is, where you should put it for the best results, and how all its different layers of protection actually work together.
So, let me ask you this. Imagine your business isn't just one building. It's a massive campus with 100 different doors, all leading to the outside world. How in the world do you secure all of them at the same time? Well, that's the fundamental challenge of cloud security today, where your digital footprint is sprawling across tons of different accounts and projects.
So what's AWS's answer to this puzzle? It's the Network Firewall, or ANFW for short. This is a fully managed service that looks at traffic from the ground up, from the basic network level, layer 3, all the way up to the application itself at layer 7. It's really built to be the one single security gatekeeper for your entire cloud setup. Now, if you come from a traditional networking background, there's a really easy way to get your head around this. If you've ever racked and stacked a hardware firewall, like a Cisco FTD or a Palo Alto NGFW, then you already get the basic idea of the AWS Network Firewall. It's that same kind of power, just built from the ground up to run natively and at a massive scale right inside AWS. But look, just having a firewall is only half the battle. The most critical decision you're going to make is where you actually place it. Seriously, a firewall in the wrong spot can be almost as useless as not having one at all. So let's walk through the 3 most common ways to deploy it, and we'll do it by following a company's journey as it grows. You see, a company's security journey kind of evolves over time. It might start out super simple, then hit some awkward growing pains in the middle. But the professional standard, the real end goal for any big organization, is what we call the transit gateway model. Let's focus on why that's the place you ultimately want to be. So, let's start at the very beginning. The VPC perimeter model is all about protecting a single project. You can think of a VPC as just one building on your cloud campus. This approach is like hiring a dedicated security guard for that one building. It's simple, and for a tiny startup, hey, it works. But what happens when you have 50 buildings? Are you going to manage 50 separate guards with 50 different rulebooks? No way. It's inefficient, it's expensive, and it's a total policy nightmare. It just doesn't scale. Okay, this is where the pros play. For any large enterprise that's juggling dozens or even hundreds of AWS accounts, you absolutely have to have a centralized hub architecture. In fact, this is the gold standard. Something like 90% of them are using this exact approach. And the hero of this entire architecture is the Transit Gateway, or TGW. Instead of putting a guard at every single door, you build one central, super high-tech security checkpoint. All your traffic, and I mean all of it, no matter where it's coming from or where it's going, is forced through this single managed hub. It's basically the airport security model for your cloud. So why is this the standard? Well, first, you get one central place to manage every single security rule. Easy. Second, you create a single controlled exit point to the internet, which means no more rogue back doors popping up. And this is the big one. You can inspect not just the traffic going in and out to the internet, we call that north-south traffic, but also the traffic moving between your own internal projects, and that's called east-west traffic. I mean, just look at the difference. It's night and day. With that old perimeter model, your management is all over the place, totally decentralized. You're only looking at traffic for one little project. But the Enterprise Hub, it gives you centralized control over your entire organization with full visibility into all your traffic. When you're operating at scale, it's really a no-brainer. All right, so we figured out where to put this thing. Now for the fun part. What does it actually do? The AWS Network Firewall isn't just one single tool. You should think of it as a suite of 4 different layers of protection, all working together. So your first line of defense is the stateless engine. The best analogy for this is the bouncer at a nightclub. They're not there to have a deep conversation with you. They're just giving you a quick once-over, checking your ID, which is your IP address, and seeing which door or port you're trying to get through. It is incredibly fast, and it's designed to block the obvious noisy threats without slowing anything down. Now, if you get past the bouncer, you meet the detective. This is the stateful engine. This layer doesn't just check your ID. It listens to the entire conversation and analyzes the full context of your connection. It uses deep packet inspection powered by Suricata, which is a super popular open source engine, to find those complex, sneaky threats that the bouncer would have totally missed.
This third layer is so clever. It's a DNS firewall. This is like having a security guard standing right next to the building's directory. So before you even try to go to a dangerous address, you first have to ask for directions, right? The DNS firewall checks that address against a block list of known bad domains and just refuses to give you the directions. The threat is stopped before a connection is ever even made. And finally, number 4 is URL filtering. This is a crazy powerful feature for enforcing your company's policies. So how does it work, especially with encrypted HTTPS traffic? Well, it's pretty cool. The very first packet of an HTTPS connection, this thing called the SNI, actually reveals the domain name you're trying to reach in plain text. The firewall can inspect that little snippet of info without having to decrypt all your private data. It's a massive win for both security and privacy. And this allows you to create some really practical, fine-grained rules. For example, your company can decide to just block entire categories of high-risk websites. No gambling, no crypto mining sites, you name it. And at the very same time, you can explicitly list critical business destinations, like Microsoft's update servers or Google's APIs. You get this incredibly precise level of control. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second. The AWS Network Firewall is an incredibly powerful tool, but it's not meant to be an island. It's designed to be a core piece of a modern, multi-layered security strategy. Let's see how that all fits together. You see, in modern security, we operate under this philosophy called zero trust. And the name says it all. It means we don't automatically trust anything, even if it's already inside our own network. The network firewall, with its amazing ability to inspect that east-west traffic between our own projects, is an absolutely fundamental building block for making a true zero-trust architecture a reality. So, in the real world, you'll see many enterprises create what's basically a security assembly line. First up, the transit gateway grabs all the traffic and routes it to the AWS Network Firewall. ANFW does the heavy lifting, the high-volume stuff like DNS and URL filtering. Then, that pre-filtered traffic gets passed along to a more specialized, deep inspection tool, like a Palo Alto firewall, for advanced threat prevention. Only then does it finally go out to the internet. Each tool gets to play to its own stream. So what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, the old idea of just building a single, high wall around your network, that's completely obsolete. In the cloud, security has evolved. It's not about walls anymore. It's about creating smart, centralized checkpoints that can inspect, analyze, and protect your data using multiple layers of intelligence. And the AWS Network Firewall is right at the very heart of that new reality.